Ya para ambos.
Buenas tardes. I'm very happy to talk to you, to talk to your whole crowd of enthusiasts, of Porsche enthusiasts, and we have such a long relationship with them. We know each other for over 20 years. That's wonderful.
Alois, before we start, I would like to welcome the Porsche Club Andino team members. This is our second.
Yes, Porsche Club Andino, bienvenido.
This is our second virtual activity during this month, which we expect to continue in the future. We also have a very special group of participants here. We have the presidents or directors of most of the Porsche clubs, official Porsche clubs in Latin America, as well as a representative from the Porsche Club America, and Carlos Alberto Munera from the Porsche office in Miami. Last but not least, you all know I am Peruvian, so I took the liberty of inviting my fellow team members in the Porsche Club Peru. In total, we are right now about 70 people, and we expect about 80 people to be connected. That said, I would like to thank you, Alois, for taking the time to be with us, to share with us your history, your news, and your magnificent factory, which I had the opportunity of visiting, like you said, about 20 years ago. I'm sure you have a lot of new things going on, and here the whole group is anxious of being able to meet you, maybe talk to you, hear your stories, and obviously visit your site. So thank you very much, Alois, in the name of everyone. And as we talked before, I will be bothering you again in a couple of months when you have your museum open. I don't know if everybody knows, but Alois has built a museum, which he has ready, except for the cars, which are not in. And we have agreed that in a couple of months, we will be able to visit that as well. So Alois, thank you very much. That said, Alois, I will ask everybody else to please turn off their cameras, turn off their audios, so that we can give Alois the opportunity of sharing his camera and his audio with all of us. I'm sure that will help the connection be better than what it is. Alois?
Wonderful. I'm very enthused and very happy that there's such a great interest about Ruf, and that I have such a nice crowd that I can talk to. All people that have not the corona infection, but they have the infection in the sangre, in the blood, for the cars with the rear engine, and also for the air-cooled and the newer versions with the water-cooled engines, because there is still a lot of emotion that comes from these cars. And what we are trying to do, and that's our endeavor, that we are keeping that spirit alive and bringing that to the very peak of it, you know. And we want to make the perfection of this type of a special feeling that we have for these automobiles. And coming to the question about the history of Ruf, the company turned 80 last year. My parents started here in the very same location, a workshop to work on cars, and also a gas filling station, a petrol station. And my dad worked on anything that had wheels. And his specialty was really after World War II, when he came back from the war, that he was working on any type of machinery and brought it back to run, and was doing a lot of improvisation to make all of that happen, you know. And so that is the main issue, and what I wanted to say about the history. And I was born in 1950.
Hold on, I think we've got disconnected.
I grew up.
Hello, Willem? Yeah.
¿Y cómo estás? ¿Te escucho? ¿Los escucho bien?
Sí, ok. Me escucha, pero nos ves porque ya no te veo.
Sí, no, es que no me ves porque yo apagué, pero yo sí los veo. Hemos puesto el foco en escuchar y ver a Alois.
Ah, ok, está bien, gracias.
Is it working?
Sí.
So here at the same location, we started working on Porsche cars in the year 1963. And when you know the Ruf DVD, the story that I'm telling, I could go to more details, but it basically started with a broken Porsche 356. It was an accident. It was a Porsche 356 that tried to pass my father when he was driving his tour bus that he built himself, long story. And the 356 driver ended up in the ditches, rolled over his car, and my dad ended up buying that car. And that was our entry in 1963 to Porsche. And we were completely enthused about this car, and we fell in love with this car, with the brand, with the people that drive these cars, because we learned so many things that we said, oh, these guys are crazy. These are not normal people, but in the positive sense, of course, you know. And so this is how we entered this world. And we were living this world, and then especially it was all my life. When I heard the first 911 in the 1964, it was a prototype that was passing us, and I heard the sound of this engine. It went into my bone marrow, and it's there ever since. And I have to live with this car and make more out of it and stay with that DNA and with that original feeling that struck me with a 911. So it's basically like a drug in the positive sense, but I'm not selling the drug only, I'm also consuming it myself. You could say. This is what my wife said once.
Good.
Now here we are at this location in the 1970s. We got really strongly more involved in 911 modifications. And that was at the time when Porsche proclaimed the 928 to be the successor of the 911. And we all know that the 928 was a great car, a fantastic car, but not a replacement for the 911. So what we did is we pushed the 911. We made special versions. We came up with the first Ruf Turbo in 1977. And then in 1978, we followed with the Ruf SCR. And we were very successful, especially then when the press picked up on our stories in our cars. And they were publishing it in Auto, Motor and Sport, which is the leading German car magazine. And then other magazines followed, and we went overseas to the United States. Road and Track had an interest in us in 1984 with the world's fastest cars, that we were winning that event. And then the second event that we won was in 1987 with a Yellowbird, the Ctr. And that was a world record, speed record, and with 342 kilometers per hour, or 217 miles per hour. And that put us on the map. But many years later...
Alois,
Yes.
give me 1 second.
Yes.
Israel, has puesto compartir pantalla. ¿Podrías, por favor, eliminarlo? Porque no podemos ver a Ruf. Listo, volvimos a normalidad. Por favor, apaguen sus videos y apaguen sus audios y no toquen lo de compartir. Go ahead, Alois. Sorry for the interruption. Alois?
He's going to get some water. He's going to come in a minute. I'm showing you the roof plats.
Estonia, aprovechemos para que te presentes, por favor. Queremos verte.
No, nada más al jefe. Aquí te lo pongo. Aquí está el jefe.
Alois, I'm telling Estonia that she should introduce herself. We want to see Estonia as well.
Of course.
Yeah, at the end. And now I'm the cameraman.
Okay. Good. Go ahead.
All right. I would like, I told the story about the Ctr, the Yellowbird, in the year 1987. And we produced 29 of those cars. And I also must tell you that since 1981, we are a licensed car manufacturer. And the cars that we built, which were always on average about 25 cars per year, bear a Ruf chassis number and are registered in the papers as Ruf cars, not as Porsche cars. And that made us the car manufacturer, which we still are, and we are a small volume car manufacturer. And now, coming back to the Yellowbird, with the 29 units that were built, only 29, this car became a mass-produced car in the video games because we built 80 million cars for the video games. It was picked up by Sony, by Microsoft, and all the leading companies that made the video games for the computer games. So therefore, there's a great knowledge, or the people around the world know about our car through those video games. But now I would like to take you to the workshop, and I'll show you what we're doing right now. Okay?
Good, excellent. We follow you.
Yes, follow me. By the way, this is the first Porsche we had in 1963. This is a Carmen hardtop, as you can see. And it shows me with 13 years of age experimenting to drive the car here in the snow. Yes.
Say hello, Mike. Mike is our painter.
Mike is our painter. He has been working late. He has been doing a paint job.
Say hi.
And,
No, Mike.
He's now leaving and going home now. All right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
This here is our latest achievement. This is the homage to the Ctr that we came out in 1987.
He had.
You had one. Remember, you had this yellow car. You had chassis number 10.
Yes.
And this is now the new version. It sure resembles the original one from that time, but it is now a complete, entire new car. And I go to you to the base of the car. We show you the underwood. Okay. So this is the basic chassis of the new Ctr. We call it the Ctr Anniversary. After 30 years, we came with this anniversary car. You see, it is a carbon monocoque, like you know it only from super and hypercars, which reduces the weight of the car tremendously. The front end and the rear end is made in steel, simply for the reason that it has crash absorption in case of an accident. It's always the integrated roll cage. And you can also see in the rear what it looks like. This is the frame in the rear. And the whole car bears a skin of carbon again. Also, the whole hat that you see here, the roof, the rear fenders, everything weighs 11 kilos only. Wow. And the whole car, when it's finished, ready to drive, weighs 1,250 kilos. And now I show you one that is more advanced in the assembly. Like this car, you can see the suspension. It has a very high-tech suspension, like you know it from Le Mans race cars. It has double wishbones, and it has, through a linkage and rocker arms, it has a push rod suspension, and the resorts, the springs and the shock absorbers are in horizontal configuration, as you can see it. This is the rear end. Now we go to the front, and we show you the suspension in the front. It's not mounted in this car, but it has also the same system, double wishbones and rocker arms and pushrod suspension. So it's from the finest. And everything goes together in 1987. The interior is the same size, and the idea of the dashboard is the same. And you have this closeness to your passenger when you are in the car. But you have newer features, like we have an adjustable steering wheel. So we brought all the newer ideas into the car without losing the charm of the original. And now, as far as the design of the car, it is a new wheelbase, which is 70 millimeters longer than what we know from the 911s. 50 in the rear, 20 in the front. So the wheelbase is the same like in the 997, which gives the car more stability at high speed for the straight-on performances. To make the eye happy that the proportions and everything looks correct, we made a couple of tricks. We gave the car more shoulder. The door is 30 millimeters coming farther out. Therefore, the fender flares don't look too exposed and too blown up. And the length of the door has changed. It is 25 millimeters longer. So we are not out of proportion. But the length of the car hasn't changed. The length of the car is still the same, like the old Yellowbird, but the positions of the wheels has changed because of the longer wheelbase. Then we made a few tricks. We put 40 millimeters or more meat in this area. Therefore, we also had to have new tail lights. Of course, the whole lighting system is state-of-the-art LED technology, even with the third brake light, which we call the spaghettini, which is here, very well hidden. And we have even the air intakes, for the intercoolers that are in the rear fenders. And then we have a very nice secret air intake for the combustion air, for the engine, what the engine is breathing through. Then the good old traditional side fill for the oil. And now we show you the engine. We can actually show the engine in our car. Of course, rain gutter delete is our standard since the 80s. So this is what our engine looks like. So it's an engine that can be presented again. It's water-cooled, 710 horsepower, 3.6 liter displacement.
How fast does the car go, Alois? What's the maximum speed? What is the maximum speed?
360 kilometers is the maximum speed, 360. And it has a 7-speed manual gearbox with a clutch.
Perfect.
So it's very, very traditional and back to the roots. Here's the interior. The interior resembles, of course, of the earlier days, but still charming and still good.
Alois.
Yes.
People are asking me why in the new car you decided to go for the original Yellowbird look or design.
Well, we have noticed that people who are collecting original Yellowbirds are willing to spend a lot of money because they love the car. They love the car the way it looks, and they love the original silhouette of the car.
That's the Porsche.
And therefore, we said this car has a life forever. So why not go to this classic shape and make another series of cars with a more modern suspension, better brakes. By the way, brakes, you have to look at the size. We have center knockoffs, you know, and we have very, very large carbon ceramic brakes. The brakes are just amazing in this car. And it's a wonderful combination. When you drive it, it feels like driving a go-kart. You don't think that you are in an automobile. And like I always say, it feels like you're driving your own pants, you know. This is the connection that you have as a driver to the machine. Steering, totally direct, and very, very light everything. Everything is light. It's like you're riding on a feather. So we show you other stuff here, what we're doing. We go to the engine department. These are all engines that we are working on. Some good old air-cooled, some race engines, as you can see over there. This is a revision of an older Ruf engine, a Ctr engine. And then the new engine we have on the dyno. Let's show you. We go to the Fábrica de Prueba. This is a new Ctr engine that is getting ready for a test run. In the setup as it is in the dyno. Okay. You see, we are using very classical colors. The green that you see here is the Irish green from the 1960s, which is a color that is very, very much liked today. And of course, we have the good old yellow, our yellow bird yellow. Let me turn on the lights so you see Heiligenschein, what you call it, the Oriol in Spanish.
Aurora. Aura, no Aurora.
See?
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
Okay. Then we go to the paint shop. In the paint shop, you see here a 1972 body shell that we are preparing for some primer. This is a resto mod car. It's a restoration of an older car, and at the same time, it is a modification to an RSR type of a car. So this is what we're still doing, and we have always customers who like these types of projects, and we love it too. This one is here now in the rotisserie, and we can turn it upside down, so it's easier to work on. Good. Primer. Okay. So we're pretty much through. Should I start the engine?
Yes.
Yes, start the engine.
Okay. So this is the prototype. This car has been driven for the last 3 years. And I tell you, sometimes when I have too many issues in my head, what I'm thinking and what has to be resolved and this and that, this is my therapy. I go for a test drive and I feel so good afterwards. Because
Can
I know
imagine, and we envy you.
With this car, I know everything's good and everything's right because this is going to be our future. And there will be more people that love this type of a car. So I have no worries about that.
Alois, how many Yellowbirds have you built? How many CTR2? How many?
At 29 we have built, and of this model we built 50 cars.
50?
50 cars, yes. And then there will be a second series, which is with a normal aspirated engine. It's called SCR.
Yeah.
But from the looks, it's identical. And from the construction and design of the suspension and the body, it's all identical.
Perfect. Alois, do you have other cars in the factory that you can show us?
We could go to the factory number 2 across the street where we do restoration and where we do service.
Can you show us more cars? People are telling
me. Yeah, we show them now the RCT. The RCT is the Ruf Carrera Turbo, which is a car that we came up in 1993. And it is such a classic car today that people still love the RCT cars and are investing in such cars. Today, you could call it a restaurant. Here is one. This is a restoration of an RCT that is over 20 years old. Oh, 25 years old, yeah, 25 years. And we are restoring this car again to the same specs as it was at that time. And this car will end up in the United States because this gentleman who used to have the car here in Germany, the same gentleman moved to America and he will keep it there in Colorado. And then we have something brand new like this GT2 RS, where we are making also some special arrangements with the rear spoiler and with the aerodynamics because the customer had a special request. This is a normal service car. The 993 over there is a turbo that we restored completely. That is going to be picked up next week from the customer, and we have more projects that we could show across the street. Yeah, and this year, what Estonia shows now is an RCT. It's a Resto mod car that we built for a British customer. As you can see, it has a very special interior. Of course, the steering wheel on the wrong side. And what you would not believe in this car, you see it has the integrated roll cage, which is totally inobtrusive, which is totally hidden here. And the skin of this car is in carbon. It has a complete carbon skin. Because now we have customers, they want to have their existing 964s. They want to have it with a carbon skin because they love it from our CTR idea. So we made a special tailored one for these models. And of course, you have great weight savings. You get about 100 kilos less weight after this procedure. Yeah.
Beautiful, very nice.
Okay. I can't wait until you're all here so that we can show you everything in person, you know. But it's so great that we can do this by video now, that we can bring the idea to your living rooms. This is great.
We were going to visit you. We were going to visit you in May, but unfortunately, the COVID-19 made us cancel the trip. Yeah. But it's in our plans, and we will visit you hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Explain the knockoff wheel, the first one.
Yeah. Now, what you see here, this is a 964 car, and we even made a special wheel, and we made a knockoff system. So we have center locking, and we have larger brakes, and we even developed carbon ceramic brake for the 964. This particular car does not have it, but it is available. So we're still custom tailoring.
Alois, people are telling
Yes.
me here through the chat that they are speechless. That what they are seeing is marvelous, and they are very, very happy.
Okay. Now I introduce my wife, Estonia, and she speaks Espanol, and I let her talk a little bit.
Hola, bienvenidos.
Estonia, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien. Y muchas gracias por participar en este evento virtual donde le podemos presentar la compañía y explicarles un poco lo que hacemos. Y muchas gracias por mantener a la eminencia que es Alois Ruf, la eminencia de sus 911 y sus ideas geniales de cómo producirlos y mantenerlos. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, Willem. Mira, y espero que eches de menos tu CTR número 10. Me acuerdo cuando te lo entregué, que fuimos al circuito.
Sí, pregúntale a Alois si me lo puede conseguir de vuelta.
Sí, pero yo creo que tiene más ceros del lado derecho.
Todavía tengo las patentes del auto, por lo cual lo podría importar de vuelta. Pero pucha,
Sí.
mándame una foto del auto por lo menos.
Ahora son muy buscados estos coches. Es increíble.
Lo sé, soy muy tonto al haber vendido los autos.
No importa, siempre te podemos hacer uno nuevo.
Oye, vamos a conversar el precio. Estonia y Alois, quiero darle el chance aquí a algunas personas, a ver si quieren hacer alguna pregunta. A ver, ¿quién quiere hablar primero? Que me escriba por el chat para pedirle que active su micrófono. Ya, Osvaldo, abre tu micrófono, por favor, y procede a hacer tu pregunta. Creo que puedes hacerlo, te tengo que activar.
When they want to ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead, yeah. Okay.
Osvaldo, ¿estás conectado?
Ahora puedo. Alois, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Sir, I just want to say thank you for your time, for your all kindness to showing us this place. It's just amazing. I'm a crazy fan of Porsche since I was a kid.
Thank you.
I'm 48 years old, and believe me, Porsche has been a dream for me my whole life, and I'm absolutely speechless about what you are showing us, about what you've been doing, what is your history. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing this. I have just one question. I love the car that you're showing us, and I understand about the history and about the anniversary and why you decide to make this car. But most of the people right now are crazy about 993 models. And I know Willem had a most wonderful Porsche that I have seen in my life. And I'm wondering if you in future are planning to do more models like the 993, because I think that is the model that is worldwide the most looked for. And I think it's the most beautiful car that I have ever seen in my life. So that is the only question that I want to ask. And thank you once again for your time, for your kindness. It's unbelievable what you have been showing us. So thank you so much.
No. Thank you for your interest. You know, we can only be successful when we have followers, when we have people who have the same beautiful disease that I have myself here. And even my wife, Estonia, when she came to the company, for her, an automobile was only transportation. She is fully infected and she loves it. She's also enjoying it, and she's also car crazy now. That's the best thing that can happen. And we are very, very glad that you like the 993. The 993 was the last one of the era of the air-cooled. And I think this car still has also potential, you know, and we are going to look in that direction as well, definitely.
Thank you, Alois. I have another question here from Domingo. I'm looking for Domingo here.
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, you're there. Okay, Domingo, dale.
Hi, how are you? Pleasure, Mr. Ruf. We met at DRT last year in Florida.
Ah,
I think you were with your wife.
right.
It was a pleasure to meet you over there. We send you greetings from Venezuela right now.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So you are in Venezuela now?
Yep. We're in Venezuela right now with the Porsche Club Venezuela. We're here.
Bueno, saludos de venezolano a
Saludos.
venezolano.
Así es. Nosotros tenemos el saludo de Estonia en Instagram, que nos manda saludos. We have your greetings over there. Well, I wanted to ask if, for example, I wanted to do a 964 turbo. Do you do modifications for that car, or
Yes, we do.
RCT.
Absolutely, and we make the nice engine of the RCT, you know, which is a entirely different responding engine to the one of the 964 turbo. It's something you have to try it, you have to feel it, you know.
Okay,
Like
and it depends, and I can customize the car any way I want, like, for example, the
Absolutely,
engine,
yes.
the interior, the lights, everything, right?
Yes, it can be done.
Domingo, did you see the aubergine color car that we changed the whole interior and everything was modified? The one we just did before.
I remember.
It was
I remember.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you again. Let me let another one speak. Another people over here from the well, a lot of people over here. Thank you. A pleasure to do this virtual tour.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Alois, I have now Israel Gonzalez.
Yes.
Would like to ask a question as well. So Israel, you are on.
Okay, thank you very much, William. Thank you, sir, for your time, Alois, and nice to meet you. Thank you for your time. It has been a wonderful experience, and thank Porsche Club Andino for this invite. It's amazing experience. All these days, you never figure out that it was possible. So the question goes, thank you very much. The question
thank you.
is,
Thank you for your interest.
what can we do to a GT2 RS as the blue you have there? So I'm really questioning myself, how can you modify to improve a so perfectly balanced car?
Okay, I tell you what we're doing for this customer here. This customer wants to improve the looks by making it look less. He doesn't like the big wing in the back. So we designed a new rear spoiler that looks more low-key. And this is what we made for this car. It's not on the car yet, but he wants to know what kind of an impact it will have with the change, because the rear spoiler, of course, has a function. So we first have to do some testing, and then we are testing the new spoiler, and we see how much of pressure that goes to the rear wheels he may possibly lose because of that. But he loves the aesthetics without that rear wing. So it's just, how can I say, he wants to make the look a little bit downgraded, you know, or low key, you know.
We'll have a rough signature.
Again?
We'll have a rough signature. It will have.
Yes, it will. It will. Yes, of course. Of course. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you very much. Have a nice
Sure,
day.
you're welcome.
Hope to see you in person one day.
Yes, wonderful. Looking forward to it.
Bye. Thank you.
Alois,
Bye-bye.
Alois,
Yes.
if you don't mind, a couple of questions. I have connected Eduardo Massini from Peru, who wanted to ask something. Eduardo?
Okay. Hello, Ivaldo.
First of all, thank you very much for your time and patience. It's been amazing. What you have developed there in Germany is brutal. It blows our minds away, and I congratulate you for that. My question goes beyond what we've seen, which is absolutely incredible. How do you feel, or which has been your most challenging moments in life to achieve the success that you clearly have today?
There were many challenging moments, you know, and but they are still there. Those challenging moments are still coming. I'm not giving up. I still have a couple of things in my head that I want to do, you know, and we keep you posted. We keep you updated of all the new challenges that are coming. But to build a complete car from A to Z, because although we were a car manufacturer since 1981, so that's a long time, we were using the shells, the body in white from the Porsche factory. And now we are making the entire body on our own, and it's our own design. And that is a huge challenge. This is something you first have to underestimate that you do it. Otherwise you would never do it. I understand. You have to be, a certain true blue is necessary. And the feel for an entrepreneur that you say, okay, I don't ask anybody, I just do it. And this is the way we have been doing things. Because if you have too many consiglieres, nothing comes out.
That is true. That's true. And were there many struggles on getting Porsche's approval? I mean, they're known for trying to do most of their things in-house, and you're like one of the very few people that they actually trusted to develop outside of their inner circle.
It has something to do with the long relationship we have, you know, with the company. We know the company and the families from days when Porsche was a small company themselves, you know. And today, of course, it's a big company and a project for 50 cars. This is something that is very difficult for them to achieve in their portfolio because they have widened up their portfolio very, very, very much.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Alois,
Thank you.
Two more questions and then we will stop. One is from Alejandro Escañón. Alejandro, ¿puedes hablar?
Gracias. Hello, Alois. Hello, Estonia.
Hello,
we had the pleasure to visit the company with the Porsche Club from Panama in 2013. It was an amazing experience, and I'm sure that everyone from Porsche Club Andino and the others that are planning to visit in the future will have a wonderful time. We also want to thank you and Estonia for taking the time to showing us the factory and your cars. It's always a pleasure to share the Porsche passion among friends.
Okay.
We have a quick question. We know that your main focus are the 911s. However, we wanted to ask you if you have work or have plans to do any modifications on either Cayman GT4 or Boxster Spider, and if you can tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, these are definitely cars that we're looking into, that we are coming up with something as soon as we have a little bit more air to breathe, because right now we're very, very engaged with building our own cars here. As soon as we have a little bit more air to do that, we are considering to make something happen for that, especially the GT4.
Well, thanks a lot, Alois and Estonia and Willem, for arranging everything. And
thank you, Alessandro. You're
regards
welcome.
to Panama. Thank you.
All right. Regards to Panama back. Okay.
The last question is from Hector. Hector, can you go ahead, please?
Yes, hello. This is Hector Santiago from Puerto Rico.
Oh, Hector, hello.
Hello. I want to say hello from your friend Luis Rodriguez. He's one of my best friends. He told me that every time you come here to Puerto Rico, you stay with him, with Estonia.
Yes.
Just wanted to say thank you for opening the doors of your kingdom to show us all of the cars and of the marvelous things.
Gracias. Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind for you to say.
And thank you very much to Porsche Club Andino for inviting us and doing this spectacular thing with all of the Latin American countries that love Porsches.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
One last question from Chile. That's from Lucas Machicao. So, Lucas, go ahead.
Lucas. Hello, Lucas.
Hello. How are you? Yeah, just a question, and obviously, thank you for all the things that you have done for the motorsport. And I have a little question about when you're building a new car. Do you like think in a rear engine, mid engine, or just like 911s? What's like the thought that you had for a brand new car?
Only mid-engine and rear engine. These are the two. I would not consider anything else.
Oh yeah, and in between that two, which one do you recommend or do you prefer?
I like the CTR3 that we built, which is a mid-engine car. It's wonderful, and of course, it is more of the handling of the supercar, and the rear-engine car. As you see yourself in the picture, it still looks like a sleeper because it is just a good-looking classic model of a 911. This is the way it is, and it's for all the people who have the love for that car. It is, how could I say, the Escarabajo of the sports cars, you know, from the looks, because it's so familiar, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure, okay. Well, thank
Alois,
Yes.
thank you very much. I have to ask you to please make sure that that yellow car, which is your used test car, is safe for me. Keep it there
Okay,
for me.
I will yes,
I will talk to Estonia so that she can bring a few zeros down so that I can get it. And, you know, be the car that will show off in Latin America. No, really, thank you very much to both of you. It was an amazing experience. The comments I have read in the chat are amazing. There are like 20 more questions, which unfortunately is too late to go with. So thank you very much. Quisiera, por otro lado, agradecerle a los participantes del Club Porsche Andino, del Club Porsche Perú y a los representantes de los otros clubes de Latinoamérica por haber participado de esta actividad. En el Club Porsche Andino nosotros tenemos una característica que nos gusta explotar, y es la característica de no solamente pensar en nosotros, sino tratar de generar una relación amplia con todos los fanáticos de Porsche en el mundo y obviamente con nuestros colegas en Latinoamérica. Por lo tanto, ha sido una excelente experiencia. Esperamos que se repita. Estamos trabajando en algunas actividades más pronto que vamos a compartir con ustedes, y si están interesados, los vamos a invitar. Alois, that's it. Thank you very much. Estonia, qué gusto verte después de no sé cuántos, 20 años o algo así.
Willem, antes de que te vayas, necesitamos no solamente a los Porsche fanáticos, necesitamos a los Ruf fanáticos también.
Bueno, podemos armar un grupo de Ruf fanáticos si quieres.
Todos juntos es mejor.
Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias y
bye bye.
Muchas gracias, nos vemos.
Gracias.
Adiós. Chao. Gracias a todos.